So, when I first saw the Model Y in photos online, it didn't really spark interest. It looked like a mom car. It was like a Model 3 mom car when I saw it online. So I didn't really think of it much more than that until I started seeing it around town. And after that, nice to report that in person it looks a lot better than the photos. In person, it looks really sleek. Dare I say sexy. For a crossover, a sexy crossover. And you know what, since it's a Tesla, it does have that brand cachet of like being one of the coolest cars, if not the coolest car out there right now. So you're driving a crossover that looks pretty cool, except for the front end. I'll say it right now, the front end still looks like an alien fish. It looked like that in the photos, and it looks like that in real life. But with that in mind, if you saw an alien fish, it might not be pretty, but it does still look super cool because it's like kind of futuristic and it doesn't have that grill, so it's very striking. So other than the grill, it looks great. I really like the looks. I am a fan of these seats. I am a fan. They feel really good. For my size, they fit, and I really like how they are sporty, but yet super comfortable. Sporty in the sense that if you look at them, they look like a sports seat. You know, they inspire a sporty feel, and it's got that sport seat shape. And it does have some bolstering, not too aggressive though. It's not aggressive bolstering, but it's definitely sporty bolstering on the sides. It's not super soft, it's firm, but comfy at the same time. Whoever designed these seats is an excellent designer, because these are fantastic. As far as like a middle ground between like everyday seat and if you want to like hustle through the canyons every now and then, I think this is perfect. I wouldn't really want to ask for anything more. And the leather that they use, or should I say pleather, they're calling it vegan leather, which is fake leather, feels really good. It feels nice to your skin. I like it a lot. And if you're in the market for a Tesla, go ahead and spring the extra $1,000 for the white color, because I really think it just makes the interior that much more Tesla, and it just looks so much more airy on the inside. I like it. It's less cavernous. I feel like if this was all black, it would feel like too much of a cave. And that's one of the other things that I want to talk about with the interior, is that it's a really minimalist interior. When the Model 3 came out, I was really skeptical about it because nothing looked like it. You know, I was used to looking at traditional interior designs of cars, and when this interior came out with nothing but a screen in front of you, and it's not even in front of you, it's off to the center, I was skeptical, to say the least. I was like, what the hell are they doing here? And I didn't like it because I was looking at it through internet photos again. You know what I mean? And the world through internet photos is not really misleading sometimes. The interior design makes so much sense, and I know I'm fawning all over it, but I love it because the lack of dashboard, let's face it, this is like a non-dashboard. The lack of dashboard and the lack of binnacle makes you just focus on driving. And that's probably the thesis of this design, is for you to focus on driving. And also, the way they designed the windows, it's really airy, it's really open, along with this awesome ceiling that is glass. When you're driving, the car gets lost around you, especially if you're engaged in driving, you feel like the car just disappears around you. So that's why the interior design is the way it is. The lack of dashboard is genius. I love it. And that brings me to the steering wheel. This steering wheel is pretty much the perfect size. I wouldn't want it any bigger or any smaller. This is the most comfortable yet sporty at the same time. Like, I could definitely see myself hustling through a canyon and going through tight turns, and it would not be a problem. But still, on long drives, it would be super comfortable as well. It's like that perfect middle ground. The material on it is really good as well. The pleather on it feels good, really feels nice on the touch. I was distracted by this dude over here. Check him out. Check out this dude. Hey, buddy. All right, so I'm talking about the steering wheel. The controls on the steering wheel are super intuitive. Once you get the hang of them, they control a lot, and they're really easy to use, actually, once you know how. The reason why you would get a Model Y over a Model 3 really is for the space. And I'm happy to report that the Model Y delivers. It really delivers everywhere. There is headroom, a lot of headroom all around. There's knee room all around. There's a lot of space in the back seat for long trips, no problem. Everyone will be comfortable. For 99% of most of your trips, the Model Y will be able to handle most of the load. So I would say 95% of all controls in this car are done through the infotainment. So the infotainment has to be awesome, and I have to tell you that it is. It is the most well thought out infotainment system I've ever seen. It doesn't have Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, and to tell you the truth, I don't miss it. This system is really intuitive, and it's really fun to use as well. There's a lot of really fun things for the passengers to play with. Like when you're at a supercharger, perhaps you can sit down and play some video games. Or while you're driving, your wife can sing along to karaoke, because there is a lot of built-in karaoke tracks that you can sing along to on the screen in really good sound, as well as the streaming. I have to say that the streaming service that Tesla has is really good. Like, it's legit. The songs on it are really good. To tell you the truth, I've been kind of standoffish about Tesla in the last, few years, because of the fact that they only started making vehicles in the last less than 10 years or so. I'm not sure, but they're definitely a new car company. So since they started making cars, there was a lot of reports from the internet about bad fit and finish, like weird panel gaps, space, materials coming apart in the headliner, materials coming apart in the seats and the doors, electronic doors not working. So I was really standoffish about Tesla because of that. But since buying this vehicle, I'm happy to report that so far, so good. There hasn't been anything. I've seen videos on YouTube where there's just like them pointing out so many things, and it's just like scary, because like I don't have an eye for these things. I might miss something, but so far so good, and we've had it for a week. We haven't spotted anything yet, except for a couple of things, except for like stains. Really, There were just a couple of stains on the leather, which was kind of weird, but were easily wiped off with a cloth. And also on the roof, there's like a black stain, but it was easily wiped off with a piece of cloth as well. It was a tiny little stain. And also, I will report that when we picked it up, there was a bolt stuck in the right front tire, and we reported it right away, and they promptly replaced the wheel and tire with a new one. So that was the one thing, but that was fixed right then and there when we picked it up. So is the Model Y standard range fast enough? Yeah, it's freaking fast. It's freaking fast. I was worried that it would be slow, but you know what? This car is fast enough for 99% of people on the roads. Really, this is fast. I'd say this is just as fast as an STI in the real world. Yeah, because in the real world you're only really accelerating to, you know, maybe 50-60 miles an hour, or, you know, less than that, and this will keep up with an STI for sure, maybe even faster. I'd say this is even just as fast, or maybe even faster to 30-40 miles an hour than the M240i, the Z4 M240i that I drove last year, which was really fast, which has had pretty much the same car as the Supra. So yeah, I'd say this is even faster to 40 than the Supra. So if you're worried about the speed and performance from the Model Y, don't worry, because this is fast enough for most people. This is fast. This is way faster than an FRS or any of those small sports cars like a Miata. Way faster than any of those. So you're gonna be smoking a lot of sports cars, gas-powered sports cars, purely because of the electric powertrain and the way Tesla made this car. It's really fast. I say get the Model Y dual motor performance if you wanna make Lamborghinis and Porsches look funny. But for every day, I would say that you're good with the standard range. The handling on this Model Y is legit. It's really good. For a crossover, I can't ask for anything more. Whoever designed the suspension did a really good job at balancing sportiness and being comfortable. Really, truly. Because it goes around corners really flat. You take it around the corner, you think you're going to be moving this way, that way. It just doesn't happen. It's just completely flat while being comfortable at the same time. We took this on a 2-hour road trip, no problem. Felt great at the end of it. It is sporty though, on the sporty side. I wouldn't say it's on the absolute comfortable side, but it does strike a good balance in between, I'd say. And I think it's the best compromise so far as for a crossover that I've felt. There's also different handling modes for the steering. There's 3 different modes, and actually, to tell you the truth, all of them feel quite different. Using Autopilot for the first time was definitely an interesting experience. I wasn't used to it, so pretty much it took me a good half an hour for me to really understand what was going on. And once I did, it was very good. It took a little bit of time for me to put my trust in the car and let it steer itself, and not actually put any effort into the turn. Let's say there's a turn coming up. You're gonna start initiating the turn. But once you start doing that, once you start moving the wheel autopilot disengages. So you're gonna have to trust the car. Trust that it's gonna turn. So it took me about a half an hour for me to trust the car to turn. And then once I did, I realized that it probably drove better than me. The car was probably driving better than me in the freeway. And it avoided all obstacles and all cars really well. So after using autopilot on a long journey around 2 hours in California from Indio to Laguna Niguel, I have full confidence in full self-driving when it does come out. I would trust it because autopilot's really good. Did you know that Teslas don't have keys? Yeah, Teslas don't have keys. Guess what the key is in your Tesla? It's your phone. The Tesla has an app that controls the car, and it's a pretty cool concept. To unlock the car, you merely have to have your phone on you with a Bluetooth on, and the car senses that, and you'll be able to open the car and you'll be able to drive. So there's no key involved, which is super cool. And in the app, there are controls. You can control a lot of things from the app, like you can open the trunk, you can close the trunk, you can also check your charging, you can also set your charging limits on the app. You can it'll show you where it is. There's the GPS location, as well as you can set the climate for when you want, if you want it to be climate controlled and ready for you before you even get there. So it's a pretty cool concept, and I must say I am enjoying it. So in the 1 week that we've had it, the Tesla, we've already taken it to a 2-hour road trip, and in that road trip we had to Supercharging. So that was my first and only experience with Tesla Superchargers, and I have to say that it's really convenient and easy to use. It was really pleasant experience. It was a very pleasant experience. The infotainment tells you exactly where to go, and once you do get there, all you have to do is plug the charger in. You don't even have to tell the car to open the door, because once you the charger opens the charging door automatically, and you just plug it in, and there's no pressing any buttons or anything or dealing with any people. It automatically charges the credit card you have on file, and you go have we had lunch, and before lunch was over, I got a text from the Tesla that the charging was done. So yeah, it was quite a pleasant experience, Supercharging. So the ownership experience of Tesla, I have to say, is one of the best parts about it. When you buy a car, you usually have to go through a dealership. Tesla does away with all that because they sell directly to the consumer. They don't have a dealership system, which should save the customer some money. And also for me, it saved me a lot of hassle. I didn't have to deal with a shady dealer, and I didn't have to deal with their overhead. Basically, when you buy a car, you're gonna have to pay for the overhead also of the dealership. If there's no dealership, then you're gonna be saving all that money. Also, if you're not dealing with a dealership, everything is straightforward. The loan process was real simple. Since it's direct to consumer, everything was done through the website, and it was so seamless and easy, and it's probably the least intimidating ownership process of all car purchases that we've ever had. Alright, so I know it sounds like I'm just fawning all over this car, and I just love it to bits, but it isn't perfect, and there are some flaws that I have definitely noticed in the week that we've had it. The first is, I would say that the rear windshield is a joke, especially for a crossover. For a crossover, you're expecting a lot of visibility all around, but that rear windshield, I would say, is like Lamborghini-esque. It's pushing it, you know what I mean? It's tiny. So I would say it's pretty much a joke. So in that vein, the next complaint I would say is that I wish that it came with a digital screen rear view mirror. I hope I'm saying that correctly, because I think that GM and other manufacturers now have a camera system that integrates a camera in the back to the rear view mirror. So instead of a mirror, you're looking at a screen. And I tried that system on a Camaro, and it worked really well. And since Tesla is a super technological car company, I'm disappointed that this is a old school mirror and it's not digital. The other complaint I have is that since there is no binnacle and there's no instrument cluster in front of you, it would be awesome, it'd be fantastic to have heads-up display. I mean, like Mazda 3s have a heads-up display. I mean, I think this car should have a heads-up display. Even just like the speed and directions would be perfect. Just a few pieces of information on a heads-up display on the windshield would be super awesome in this car. All things to all people. That's what Jeremy Clarkson said when he described the Model X in his review. The thing is, the Model X that he was reviewing was around more than $100,000 purchase price. This car starts at $42,000. So I think that phrase applies to this car way more. All things to all people. What a great phrase. And guess what? It's awesome. I love it. The Tesla Model Y is perfect car. Is pretty much a perfect car for a one-car household. It will do 95% of all automotive tasks, and it will do it while giving you a smile on your face. It's really fun in all aspects. The way it drives, the way people interact with it from the outside as well as on the inside. So it's positives all around, and it's also positive for the environment. You know, little things like that make the Model Y an excellent car, and especially with this recent price drop, this car might just be the best-selling car of 2021. I wouldn't be surprised if it is. Another thing with the Tesla is it's the brand cachet right now of the Tesla it's so hard to beat. So it's just wins all around. And I would say for my audience, this would be the best dad car you could get in 2021.